at 9 o'clock at your hometown radio, WRGA. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. It's the 20th day of February 1998. It's going to be a fairly good-looking Friday weather outside. There's some clouds around here and there. Joining us this morning in the studio is Lisa Faith Langston Bragg. Is that about what it is? And Lisa has written a book. Now, Lisa, you're from around Chattooga County, right?
Yes, I grew up in Trine, and I lived in Somerville also.
So, Lisa has written a book. The book is called Living in Sin, and she was featured in a story that DJ Land did in the newspaper a couple of weeks ago.
Thursday.
Was there in this week's paper? I hadn't even seen the paper, so I couldn't tell you I hadn't taken time out to read it.
It was last week.
Was it last week?
It was last week.
I wasn't sure because I knew that you said it was going to be in, but I wasn't sure as to when it was going to be in. But you're going to be having a book signing with your book that has been published up at Mary's Record Shop tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
At 12.
Beginning at 12. Now, the book is called Living in Sin. You want to tell us about the book, or better yet, why you wrote the book?
I started writing on the book when I was 16, and it was more like my diary. You know, I put my diary together more or less to write the book, because even though the characters are made up, some of the experiences in that the characters face are the ones that I faced when I was a teenager. But I didn't really decide to put the book all the way together and write the book until I became a volunteer at the Dalton Pregnancy Center and started working with teenagers, and I wanted to help them so much that I wanted to help them in a way that they would understand. I wanted to get the message to them in a way that they would understand. I remember how I would have accepted it when I was a teenager, so I wanted to get to their level and write a message they would understand. So I just mixed that all together and put it in a book.
Why choose Living in Sin? Because it's like you wrote in the book there that it was a song that was done several years ago by Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Why that song? Why this title?
Well, if anybody knows who Bon Jovi is and they've heard this song and they've watched the video, I don't know, I've listened to Bon Jovi so much when I write. They've always inspired me so much. And it really has nothing to do with Bon Jovi or the song or the video, but I guess because I was listening to it, it just really fit in when I was writing the book. It just really fit, and it just stuck, so that's why I chose it. So.
What's the book about?
Okay, it's about two teenage sisters. They moved to this new town, and they're in high school, and one's popular and one's not so popular. Then they meet two guys. They work at a garage. They're mechanics, and I don't know. One of them, the older sister, she learns the hard lesson of love, where the younger sister learns what love is supposed to be about, how a guy's supposed to treat you and stuff. And for example, like if a guy really, really loves you, they're not going to ask you to do certain things to prove to them that you love you. You should never have to prove to anybody that you love them by giving them something. Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Now, the book you say is going to be, it is on sale up at Mary's, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to be up there tomorrow from 12 until?
5, 6, something like that.
Just whatever.
Yeah.
Is that a pretty good book from what I can tell, and the folks need to come out and look over and see. Now, have you got anything else that you're going to be working on, or another book you're working on?
Well, I wrote 3 or 4 other books, but it's not time for them yet. This one's the one that God led me to publish first. So this is the one that I'm focusing on. But I have written other books.
Now you're married, you have a little daughter.
Yeah.
And you're attending the church over in Chatsworth. Now, you live in Dalton or in Chatsworth?
I live in Dalton, but I go to church in Chatsworth.
Okay. And you say that you've been volunteering time at the
Dalton Pregnancy Center.
Dalton Center. So you're finding a lot of girls coming in or situations that are happening there that are with the book and the things that you've been through, able to kind of guide these girls with?
Yeah, I see that some of them is real stubborn. They don't want to listen to you, but I see their situations just like what I put in my book, and I know for sure. This is one girl, she read my book, and it helped her a lot. She told me that it made her realize that instead of going out and seeking other people's advice and how to do, on certain subjects, that she could have went to her mother and her father and talked to them, but it was okay, because I think teenagers think that it's uncool to go to your parents. They always tend to find someone else in school to talk to about issues, and it made her realize that she could have went to her parents, and now she does go to her parents when she's got questions.
Do you find that parents today are a little more willing to listen than the parents maybe of 25 or 30 years ago?
Well, I'm not really sure about that. I know my mom, she would have been willing to listen to me, and I think that any parent should be willing to listen to their kids. I mean, I think communication has to stay open between the two. They've got to really know what their teenagers are doing and want to listen to them. I mean, there's so many parents out there, I believe, and I know it's sad, but I believe they don't care about what their teenagers have to say. And I think if they would just really show that they cared and they want to hear what they have to say about anything, even if it seems silly to the parent, you should always listen to your child.
What do you think this book here is more geared toward the teenagers, or maybe parents could get something out of it and just look and see maybe what they're missing as far as what's happening in teenagers' lives today?
I think it could be for both. It could be a parent's handbook, signals that they can watch out for, certain, maybe, they didn't realize that their kids could be going through this. I think it could be a big shocker to some parents, but, they need to really wake up and realize that it can be their kid too that goes through situations like this. And I did have a parent's response to my book. She said that she loved my book and she wanted to get her teenage daughter to read it. And since then, she has got her teenage daughter to read it. And I know it helped them both. So I think it can help parents and it can help the teenagers too. Because it's a beautiful love story between two of the characters. It's the way I modeled it the way that love should be,
So it deals with more than just what the day-to-day problems of teenagers are facing, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Lisa, I appreciate you bringing the book by. It's called Living in Sin. It's on sale at Mary's Record Shop, and you're going to be there tomorrow for a book signing, and you'll be willing to talk to folks while you're there, right?
Right. I try my best.
Well, Lisa, I appreciate it. You have a good day, and it's from 12 until whenever tomorrow at Mary's up in Somerville, right?
Thank you.
7 minutes after the hour, 9 o'clock at your hometown radio, WGTA.